Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Kerbal Space Program with me, Alfapiomega. Now, last time I spoke about a big update, and that has gone well. I reinstalled the game, all the save files are working, and here we are. But now, with the TAC Live Support mod, which adds the necessity of keeping your Kerbals well fed, well watered, and well equipped with oxygen. So we will have to take this into consideration when launching our next missions. But first of all, there's one thing that we should look into. It's the programs. We can run a couple of programs which will change how we get things done. So I quickly check these, but let's go over them together. We are currently running none of these, but we will, and that is for sure, launch a fundraising campaign. We can likely raise some money by exploiting the attention that we get out of new successful ventures to remind the well-to-do Kerbals out there that we could use their support and the contents of their wallets. This is probably going to be seen as a bit cheeky of us, so be prepared to face some backlash from the public. Basically, it will take some of our reputation and give us some money for that. So let's start that. And we are also going to run Unpaid Research Program, a program where undergrad researchers are given the opportunity to work in our great space program to boost the science earned out of each bit of data. The interns don't get paid, but the prestige of working with such a grand organization as ours surely is its own reward, isn't it? So this will give us 5% reputation gain this will take 5% of our reputation and give us 1 science for each 1.65 reputation that we get. So I'm gonna run this one as well. And we have only 2 more possibilities. One of them is called Aggressive Negotiations and Recovery Transporter Fitting. So this one costs money. I'm not entirely sure between these two. What this one does is basically it takes away some of the funds and takes away reputation for these discounts, or we can increase the costs of our vessels, but it will also give us money for recovery. So I actually think this one is better because it's going to lower our it makes everything cheaper for us, so I'm gonna go with that. And we can't take any of these because it has conflicting strategies. Okay, but I'm not entirely interested in any of these. So we'll have these running. Basically, we get a lot less reputation from our missions, but we get more money either way. And we will get cheaper stuff for reputation cost, which is okay because I don't want any reputation. Now, the next thing I want to show you today is what the TAC mod brings to the table. Basically, it gives you, as I spoke already, the necessity for food, water, oxygen, and electricity for your Kerbals, and they now produce the wastewater, and carbon dioxide. I said that really weirdly. Now, to cope with that, we got a few things. We got food containers now, or large food containers, or small food containers. We also get life support containers, which have everything, I believe. Yes, all of these. Oxygen containers and life support water containers. And also, we should get a waste container. Yeah, here it is. Life support. Oh, this one is water and this one is waste. So we can store waste in this one because Kerbals produce waste. We also got these Hexcan oxygen and other cans, which can be attached to your vessels from the side. Now, as you guys suggested in the last episode, I have decided that to advance our Kerbal space program, we need a stable point in orbit where our Kerbals can stay and rest and use it as a launch point towards future missions. So we are, you probably already guessed it, going to design and launch a space station. The design part is already done because I played with this for a couple of days, and let me present Kerbal module main, which is the very basic thing that we need to get into orbit, and that will serve as a launch point or base of operations for everything we are from now on going to do. Now this one, as you can see, is a very easy design. We got, what is this called? I cannot remember. Hitchhiker storage container, which is basically a place where 4 Kerbals can fit. We got the mobile processing lab, which is a place where 2 Kerbals can fit. And we also got a fuel container, which is just a fuel container. Well, this one is going to serve as a base of operation in case any emergency is going to happen, but for now it's just a fuel tank without any further use. Now you can see that this base has a number of docking ports. There's one up here, one down here, and 4 radio. Now each one of these radios is already designed to take a fuel module. So there will be 4 fuel modules sticking in these directions, and they will contain fuel for our future missions. This one should probably serve as a point where our spaceships will join us. So this is basically a main docking port. While this one will most likely serve either to enlarge our starbase with more docking ports, or this is where we will fit the scientific equipment if we'll ever have one. Now let's look closer on the main body. You can see that there's a lot of lights because we need to see this base when it's going around the dark side of Kerbin. For this reason, it has a lot of batteries because, yeah, the lights need electricity. And also Kerbals need electricity now. It's basically heating for them. So electricity, good. Better than ever. 2 more large batteries up here and here to serve as an emergency power source. And 4 photovoltaic panels here and here. These are the 1x6 ones, so all of these 4 should be enough to power up the batteries during the go around the light side of Kerbin. We also have one of the large life support containers up here, together with 4 Hexcan life support cans. We also have 4 small waste life support cans here, which will collect the waste that our Kerbals produce. The thing in the middle is an advanced large SAS module, and you might probably notice that we have the monopropellant tanks here, which will power up these RCS thruster blocks. There's total 8 of them. We also have some neat communitrons here and here, 8 of them. And I guess that is basically all there is to this Kerbal module. Yeah, this is it. I have also designed something that is called the Kerbal lifter, which is probably the most complicated thing that I have yet designed in Kerbal Space Program. It looks pretty neat though. It's basically the Kerbal module in the middle, with a launch sequence down here, which contains of 6 extremely large, I don't know what these are called, yeah, they are just the SRBs KD25Ks, 6 very large fuel boosters, and then one of these, which we didn't use before. I want to test it out. It has a really nice thrust ratio, and it carries a lot of liquid fuel and oxidizer, so I think this is a good choice for this lifter. There's also 2 tanks here, or is it 1? I don't remember. I think these are 2. Comax fuel tank, I don't know which. Oh yeah, it's the big one. Okay, I was thinking if I added these 2, well, it wouldn't matter anyway. 2 of these is one of these. So we have one of these large fuel tanks to help us basically get into orbit. All of this is supposed to get us into orbit, and once we are there, it will decouple and hopefully fall somewhere where we won't see it. For that, this brand decoupler is done. But up here is the control module, which will carry 3 more Kerbals for this mission, and that is basically the command module for this mission. Once we get to the main base into orbit, it will decouple here and go away using these separatrons. These liquid fuel engines will then be used to take it down into orbit and descent, and this big parachute should work as a stopper for our command pod. We have inline stabilizer up here, we have an inline stabilizer here, which is the SAS module, and one here, so I'm kind of hopeful that this mission will be easy to operate. We have some batteries here and photovoltaic panels as well, though they're just mainly for decoration or for the sake of emergency happening. Yeah, I guess this is all that I should say to this this very rocket. I would like to also show the next one that I designed, which is the fuel module lifter. I haven't designed the fuel module yet. I just designed the lifter, which is basically 2 of these large fuel tanks, which will be carried up by these 6 boosters. And once we get into orbit, or if we don't get into orbit, these little engines should help position the Rockamax fuel tanks into where they belong. We actually have, wow, we have a lot of these. Yeah, I remember. I checked the thrust, and the thrust on this thing is extremely poor. So I hope that 6 will be enough. When you look at it, each one of these has thrust of only 120, which is about a half of this one, and we are trying to carry up these 2 tanks. So when I did some calculations, I think that even 6 might be too little, but there's no space for another engine because we need to put the docking port somewhere, and if I put the engine here, it just wouldn't work, you know? We couldn't dock then, so that's a big no-no. We have an advanced SAS module here, and then we have the decoupler and another decoupler with a small engine down here, so this is supposed to return to Kerbin once we are done. So there will be 4 of these modules up in space once we are done with the base creation. Yeah, okay, now one thing that we should look into is the crew of the space station, and for this I hired new guys. When you look at our crew, we have Jebediah, Bill and Bob, plus Halfred and Ribwell, who are the crew that you already know. But we also have 4 new guys: Dudney, Meldrin, Maldos and Camlock. These guys will be the permanent crew of our space station, and they will maintain it and keep it in good health. With that said, these guys are definitely a good choice because Look at them. They're very stupid, and someone who is named Dudney is stupid as well. I'm sorry, game. I don't trust you on this. I think you need to add a few bars. So these guys will be our crew, and Alfred, Ribwell, and Jebediah will take our crew up there. So before I attempt this, I would like to know what you guys think about the designs. If you like it, if you don't, just let me know. Any input is good, because once we launch these guys, there is no going back. You know, we really have no other choice. So please, 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 if you see any flaw in this, I have never tried, you know, having a space station up in orbit. So if you can figure out something good or something useful for me that I should do with right now, just tell me. What's going to happen after this is basically simple. Once we get the space station and the 4 fuel modules up there, what I'm going to try is design a interplanetary ship that will be carried up by a huge lifter and attached to the space station. And this one will first go to Mun, land there, and then come back. Then we will send it to Minimus and back. And if that happens to work, what I'm going to do next is I will create special probes that will be attached to this manned module, and these probes will be used together with this ship to get to one of the closer planets, and we will see if that can work. I don't have it exactly thought through. You can probably tell I haven't even touched the designing part yet. But I think it's going to be pretty cool, and I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, again, if you have anything to add before I launch this incredible, humongous, awful operation, just let me know. If you don't, I'm gonna give this a couple of days and launch it anyway. So till then, you guys, take care.